right. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Just going to update my audio. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm excited to come on and help you out. We're going to get into some shops. We are also going to answer your so we'll do full Q&A as well. Then I have some exciting announcements. We have something really, really fun dropping tomorrow that I'm going to be talking about. All right, looks like you guys are coming on. All right, so a couple fun things we have coming up. First of all, yesterday we did a really cool team meetup with our leadership team. So that was fun. We met up in person here in Southern California, just north of where I'm at in San Diego. And we had our monthly meeting in person. We got to do some of those mom talk dances, and those will be going up on Instagram, I think soon. But something exciting happening tomorrow is we are doing a full shop reveal. I'm going to get you the link. I'm going to grab this from our marketing manager, and we are doing a full shop reveal. If you want to be notified when that goes live, it is my actual Etsy shop and revealing everything about it, the whole story, what's happened now, and more. Also, the biggest key to its success, which I have not talked about on YouTube. Cool. So we will have that for you in 5 minutes. So you'll get access. Couple other things. I hope your preparations for Black Friday, Cyber Monday are going well. If you are scrambling and you really have no idea what you're doing, that's okay, right? Just remember price point first, product second. You always want to be thinking in that manner. And if you need help with that, feel free to leave in the comments what you need help with. I'm going to pull up a couple shops that mentioned that they didn't have sales. We're going to take a look at those first. But if you have any Etsy questions, it looks like we have some more questions that came through on YouTube. All right, I'm going to share my screen so we can get down to business. Here we go. Let's see how this, okay, this seems okay. Let's do, that's pretty good. Okay. We'll zoom in. Jason wants a shout out. Awesome. All right, so here we go. Jeremy, can you give some examples of a well-developed customer persona that a store would target? So expand this a little bit. There we go. So customer personas that a store would target. I would say one example that I can give you is actually someone within our coaching team. We have a 14-person coaching team right now, and she is, I'm not going to share too much, but she basically has a sports thread through her shop. Now, it's not a niche shop, right? She also serves them in other areas of their life. So it's not just sports themed, but that is, when you're focusing on expensive hobbies and activities, expensive sports, certain sports are very expensive. Just ask, I would say ask some some moms out there, how much are you spending on those dance costumes, etc. So that is an example. You just want to look to people with higher discretionary income. It doesn't necessarily mean rich people, but it does mean look at what people who have consistent spending habits are spending their money on. Maybe they are middle class, upper middle class, totally fine. But they have to have some consistency of income. You do not want to be selling to people who are paycheck to paycheck where you're taking their last $20. Okay. So, all right, let's take a look at another question. Heather here shares her sales a month ago were starting to come in more frequently. And then this past month, they completely stopped. She can only think of not being consistent. She had some family emergencies. It's been 2 weeks of adding products and lots of updating. I'm getting lots of visits and views, but still no sales. Friction of a purchase, possibly, and possibly dead listings bringing your shop down. Should you deactivate those dead listings or delete? And two, on the ones that were selling and stopped but are getting visits and favorites, should she renew? I have something for Heather, and I'm going to give it to all of you. It's our 7-day free visibility blueprint course, and it's completely free. It's 7 days, and today I believe is day 6 or 7 of it. So it's currently happening. Um, I'm going to drop this in the chat as soon as my marketing manager sends it to me, but we will get you that. Heather, yes, it does sound like there might be an issue with your conversion rate that is actually going ahead and impacting your traffic. So a lot of people think, oh, I just need to work on my SEO. Well, if your conversion rate is poor, then it will override any good SEO that you had. So we always want to remember it's not just your keywords, it is also your click through rate, it is also your product market fit that is impacting it. If you are putting something up, it has perfect SEO, but it's maybe not an attractive design, or maybe the competition has a stronger value proposition. Someone came in, they have, very similar design, but they're undercutting you in price and they're taking market share. So they have a stronger value proposition. Then that is going to impact your conversion rate, which will impact your ranking. So the more Etsy sees, excuse me, the more Etsy sees your listings out there not selling, it doesn't matter what you do with your SEO. They're going to be pushing it lower and lower in search. So just think about this every day. You don't get a sale. Just tell yourself, okay, they're moving me to the next page and the next page and the next page. So, Heather, what we want to do with you, Etsy did have a bit of a reset. We all noticed this in the algorithm early October, October 1st, specifically, the big change to prioritizing shipping prices that are less than $6, right? That did impact things for most people. Most people, even some digital product sellers, saw a shift in traffic. Now, what you want to do in that case is basically jumpstart the car. It's like pushing the truck out of the mud. Okay. It's my Minnesota farm girl vibes coming through. So push the truck out of the mud. And what we're going to do is go right into module 4, and it's the sprint. Let me show you where this is. Okay. So the sprint is right here. It's designed to get you your next 3,000 to 4,000 orders as quickly as possible. Okay, so I just have to be clear here. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay, this is hard work and consistency, but you're probably working hard anyways if you're watching this video. So you might as well be doing the right actions. So, what we want to do here is really be implementing all the strategies here in the sprint. Heather, maybe you're beyond that. Maybe you've grown out of the sprint, you're in the marathon, which is really where you have leverage. You're pulling those levers now to see scalability. But I would revert back to this. So there's different strategies for different stages of your business, right? We want to go back to the traction driving strategies. So it's a little bit of a reset with traffic. So treat it like a reset with your strategies. And you want to just go back to these. Okay. So a couple other things we want to do here. Let me pull up your question, Heather. Definitely deactivate dead listings. Don't ever delete listings. I don't ever recommend deleting listings. Just deactivate. Go ahead and anything that was selling and stopped, but you're getting views and favorites, I would take a look at your value proposition in search. Heather, if you're watching this and if you have a listing we could look at, put it up here. We're happy to pull it up and show you how you can compete in a stronger way in search. Okay. Let's see what other questions are here. I do want to pull up a couple shops that were sent so we can help you guys there. Oh, we also had an awesome piece of feedback from Allison. This was I think just a couple days ago. Um, Before I read this, I am going to put in the free 7-day visibility blueprint. This is free. It's a 7-day course all about getting traffic. Okay. I hope that's helpful. So it's in the chat wherever you're watching. This is what it looks like. 7-day, it's our free 7-day visibility blueprint. Check it out. You will learn everything that you wanted to know and probably more than what you wanted to know uh, about traffic and the Etsy algorithm. Okay. So, Allison, this is really sweet. This is interesting for anyone who started a new shop. Maybe you are like Allison. She started a shop in July, didn't get any traction until December, finally got 3 sales from your friends. She actually started our program end of September, month and a half in, redoing almost all of my SEO. This is something that's usually what we want to cover at the very beginning is evaluating your SEO, auditing it, and making sure that we do a reset if needed. She found a winning product, got 8 sales in 24 hours. She used our tool, Etsy, which does your listings for you. She used that for the base of her listings and tweaked it. 90% perfect. She said, "It's crazy. It's actually crazy how well this course works. I honestly can't believe it. I think it would have taken me years to do all of this by myself. I knew I needed some help because I was a newly laid off first time mom trying to figure out how to do everything when I found the Ultimate Etsy course. Just keep going. I promise if you do everything this course says, you'll get somewhere." That was really sweet. Um, but I, yeah, I also want to pull up some shops that had no sales that you guys commented with. And then if you have any shops you want to review, put them in the chat as well. We can do that here. Oh, I do have one that showed up. Neutral canvas. Let's go ahead and pull that up. And then we'll pull up this one. All right. Oops. Neutral. I'm wondering what you sell. Should we take guesses? There we go. Okay, not what I expected at all. Interesting. Interesting. I was actually thinking this would end up being wall decor, which is interesting. Huh. Okay, we need to get this updated. Hi, guys. We've got exciting deals for this Halloween season. We don't want to lead with that. This is not strong value. It's not giving them any helpful information to convert. Right now, it looks like you are mostly doing PNGs for sublimation and wallpapers. Low price point. It's going to be really hard to hit any sort of financial goals with this. So I would recommend re-looking at your product mix. I also would not do anything seasonal right now until you have at least 100 sales. So you're in the Philippines. We actually have a lot of students in the Philippines, but we do not need to be doing seasonal because exactly what happened here with your Halloween listings, you're putting time and effort into these listings that now, like your Christmas ones, they only have like what, about a 4 or 5 week runtime, and we're done. So really focus on evergreen products. Also, when you are creating your listings, I hope this is close enough for you to see. Always consider the background color when you are showcasing a design. So create the design knowing which color mockup you're going to use behind it. So for example, this, the white and the pink, it's warmth on a warm tan background. So it is blending in. I don't think it's high enough contrast. I would probably put this on potentially even a black or a navy, but more likely a black background. Okay. And We wanna also become a little more cohesive. So who is the customer you're targeting? Are you targeting trendy POD shops that have, trendy designs? They are, um, maybe selling mostly to women, or, the digital party invitations. It's just very different customers, and I wouldn't start with this few listings, I would not start with these in the same shop. I'd get a little more cohesive and curated. All right. Let's see what else we have. Someone did ask, let's see here. Oh, Mustafa asked how to enroll. So our course is not open for enrollment, just like for anyone to join. We do have a call beforehand, qualification call, just to make sure that it is the right fit for you, because we want to make sure that people we're working with, like all of our students, we want to make sure they are in a place where they're ready to take action and where they trust our process more than they're trusting their own. Typically, that is what's required to be coachable. So I'm going to put the link here. It's a free call to learn more. I'll just put it there. Okay. Little Creeks Crafts. Let's pull up this one. Little Creeks Crafts. Let's see. Okay, this looks like it. 8 listings, print on demand. I would not be doing anything holiday right now. Love that you are doing a Christian theme. I love that. We have a lot of students with faith-based or Christian-themed shops in our program, but we don't want to do any holiday. We also want to make sure it's really, really clear what your focus is. So in your thumbnail, right, the biggest thing in this thumbnail image is the laptop, followed by the coffee cup. Lastly, the sticker. So you want to make sure it is glaringly obvious what you are selling in your thumbnails. Okay. I think also like this design, this is great. I like the coloring. I like how clear it is. Very kind of Western inspired. Some of these designs, though, I do think would benefit from just a level up, basically. I want to share with you one of my students. She's awesome. Her name's Brandy. She's gonna be like, "Oh no, Dylan, you sent a bunch of people into my shop." But she is great, and she has really great Christian themed designs. Okay, so Christian themed designs that are very trendy, and I think this would be great for you if you are if this is your shop here. I think it would just give you Abby. It looks like Abby is here. Okay, so we need to rework the product mix. Our 7 types of products framework is really key. So we have different listings that have different purposes. Okay, we want to scale order number and revenue at the same time. This I can see maybe you were trying to go for a loss leader here, but I would not say this is a good loss leader. You can't really even tell what it says or what the true value is. It looks like a tiny, tiny, tiny sticker. And at least if maybe you have multiple sizes, yeah, show the big one, right? Show the big one. Also, if this is 2 keys on a keyboard, I don't even know if that's 2 inches. I'm just looking at my keyboard and the size of that. This looks like the size and scale might be a little bit off. Okay, so 7 types of products framework, leveling up some designs, no more holiday. Now I see a question in here. Is it too late to do holiday themes right now? Let me give you our calendar. I'm going to give you our calendar for holidays because it looks like this might be helpful to a lot of you here. Okay, it's the Ultimate Etsy Calendar. I just put it here in the chat box. This is what it looks like. Ultimate Etsy Calendar. Go ahead and click on that. You can get access. Um, we don't want to do holidays right now. Live life full 247. Why would you not want to do any holiday? If you don't have traction and momentum yet in your shop, we want to focus on putting listings in the shop that can gain traction and momentum. So if you're putting listings in the shop and you're spending your time when you only have 8 listings creating new listings that will only potentially work for the next month, then you are wasting your time because you're going to have to start and stop, start and stop. So as soon as you get some sales on these holiday listings, if you get sales, you have a 5-week window to get these optimized to drive external traffic to really convert people on these holiday listings. Otherwise, these listings, you just put them in your shop to tank your conversion rate. And that's going to make any new listings that you put in there harder to sell because they're automatically going to rank lower. So, anytime you have less than 100 sales in your shop, I would not be focusing on holiday specific items. Now, this doesn't mean don't do ornaments, right? Because ornaments could sell year round, or don't do winter themed items. They might have a much longer runtime than, let's say, you know, Thanksgiving. You have like a few days here and leading up to it, right? It's really between October 31st and like the next 2 weeks. So, Thanksgiving prep is so short because it's packed between Christmas and Halloween. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions on that, let us know. Yeah, this person said they only have a 3-week window left. Awesome. What other questions do you guys have? Oh, this is a great one. Okay. What are your thoughts on having a cancellation fee to discourage cancellations, and how much would you charge? So, this would be like a restocking fee. We see this a lot with electronics, with appliances, and if you sell physical products, especially products that might be tried and then returned, I definitely recommend having a restocking fee. So, for example, with my shop, which by the way, I do have the link for you. I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay. So click on that link if you would like to have access to the shop reveal tomorrow. It's going to be going out in email tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. But I would say, like, I sell customized, right, products, custom made to order. It's all personalized. They're requesting colors, they're requesting letters, names, and you can't just resell it. Trust me, I've tried. And it does not resell for like years. So with that, like a restocking fee, I would say you want it to cover a good portion of your material costs. Okay. So a good portion of your material costs in case that is not salvageable and you have no idea what condition it's coming back under. So I would recommend going ahead and doing something like, depending on the price point, 15 up to 25%. If this is like Kaylee, like your clips, something like that, right? Lower price point, you're going to want to have like 25 to 35% restocking fee. I would never go above 40%. Okay. But say that in your communications for sure. You could also add it to the FAQ of your shop policies. Okay. We're getting such great questions. Okay. Do you think it's better to open a new shop or use the one that you had 7 years ago and sold some stickers in it? You're trying to sell print on demand apparel, t-shirts, sweatshirts, etc. So I would say, Diana, it depends on how many sales you had. So if you had more than 50 sales, and in the last 7 years, if most of those sales happened within the last year, then I would keep the shop. If you have like less than 50 sales and they kind of happened in that first year, I would just start over. One of my favorite stories is one of my students who started with me in the winter, and she had a shop that was stuck at like roughly like 45 sales for a long time. And she basically, what had happened was she started the shop, it wasn't optimized, right? So there was a lot of updates to be done, really, according to module 3. And then it had really hurt her shop's quality score. Now, if you want to know about shop quality scores, go ahead and click on this link here. Here, the 7-day visibility blueprint, because you'll learn all about your shop quality score and what the situation might be looking like. If you have a super negative shop quality score and it's been negative for years potentially, it's really worth starting over. And that student I talked about, right, she's stuck around 45 sales, starts a new shop in July. Okay. In the month of July, middle of the summer, a lot of people think, oh, Etsy's not going to be, doing well in the summer. I'm not going to start a shop in the summer. It's low traffic. Um, Listen to this. Same products, new shop. Same products, same optimizations, new shop. She gets 100 sales in her first 34 days. She's watching this. She will remember that. So 100 sales in 34 days. New shop, same exact products. Okay, and same optimizations because she had optimized the shop, before after joining our program. So absolutely could be worth starting over. But you want to make sure that if you do start over, Diana, if you do start over, make sure that you are fully optimized this time. Otherwise, the same exact thing is going to happen over and over and over. And you're going to end up with a shop a month in, no sales. Okay. So, like, get all the tools, all the information together before you start the new one. Oh, so nice. Dean said, "You all do a fantastic job. Appreciate you." Thank you, Dean. We really are trying to help people, and make an impact. Seeing the results of sellers who have taken on these strategies and really just transform their shops, and hearing like, now my spouse can quit their job. Now I'm quitting my job next week. This is paid for our family's Christmas. Like, that is everything to me. I think at a certain point, you know, doing one thing, making a lot of money on Etsy, for me, it it's great for my family, right? Sure, like we can buy more houses or something, but that just has an impact on my nuclear family. But this, like helping people like this, where we're pulling open your shops and I'm helping to get you unstuck, now this has an impact that is far beyond my little family. Like, so this, I just hope I hope you understand this is why I do this. Oh my gosh, Kaylee, this course really has made a massive difference. I can't even count all the zeros on that. Kaylee's amazing. She has an amazing story too. That's the thing. When you're in our program, we really know your story and your why. And she has an amazing story of really survival, I would say. And seeing what she's doing now as an entrepreneur is is just amazing. So, Kaylee, really glad that you connected with us. Carla says, can't wait for the summit. We do have a couple spots left. Let me get you the link for that. If you didn't know, we have the Ultimate Etsy Summit coming up January 23rd, 24th. So let me go ahead and put that there. We have a VIP event too where we can hang out. Okay, so that is the summit. Awesome. Thank you, Dean. Oh my gosh, you guys are great. Okay. Oh, this is a great question from Violet. What do I do when I can't make a decision about what to sell in a shop? I'd prefer to do handmade products. Okay, Violet, let me tell you a story about one of our students who I actually got to meet in person at her home. And she started with print on demand, and then she moved into digital and then handmade and supplies, and she does it all. Her story, let me give you her story if you are curious about who this is. I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay. She is right here. Oh my gosh. So she is right here. I'm putting this in the chat. And this is her, okay? Kind of sounds like you might be at a similar point. So, inspiring student story. Okay, what I really recommend, Violet, if you are at a crossroads of deciding what to sell, I recommend instead deciding who you want to sell to. So stop thinking what is the product? Think about which customers are going to give me the most consistent income. Because if you don't have consistency in your income, you're going to be extremely stressed out and you're going to be chasing and you're going to feel like you're on your back foot. And so we want to make sure that you can ease into a place of peace in your business. And if you're not selling to people who have consistent spending habits, you're not going to get there. So take a look at maybe the different product ideas you have. Okay, who are the customers for these different products? There's probably some differences. It's probably not all the exact same customer. And then we want to go and we want to look at, oh, this is funny. This is in Nee's house. But then we want to look at, okay, let's start with them. One person, the most consistent spender, and then we want to build the product mix around them. Okay, using the 7 types of products framework, right? Serving them for at least 4 to 7 years. We do not want to be just picking the product that we like the best, that we think is the cutest. Um, I would say if you want to do handmade, that's great. You can absolutely make handmade scalable, just like Nee did. She did actually over $30,000 in the first week of this month, you guys, in her house. Okay, over 30 grand within a week. Now, I'm not even joking. This is her. So this is mostly physical products that she's shipping. She still does some print on demand, some digital, but you can absolutely be scalable with handmade. And for anyone who tells you you can't be, they're not thinking outside the box, right? Or they don't have they haven't thought about it in a scalable way. But you can build scalability into your business when you're doing handmade. So don't worry about that. Um, Violet, if you are still stuck at this point, reach out. We're happy to talk to you about it. This is a good one. Heather, you definitely should check out the free 7-day visibility blueprint course that's shown above. I'm going to put it here because she's asking, should we go in and renew our listings to give them a boost? All right, so this is when we talk about recency. So that point of recency that allegedly impacts your ranking in search. Now, renewing a listing does not give you the same boost as creating a new listing. So Etsy says that. And they say the boost can be as short as a few hours. So I do not recommend just going out and clicking renew on your listings. This is something that I think a lot of people uh, kind of swarmed around this myth in maybe it was like 2017 to 2019. Just renew your listings every day. It's only, however many cents. But I wouldn't do that. I really wouldn't do that. Instead, if you're trying to get a boost, drive external traffic. So that is actually day 7, the lesson day 7 of our 7-day visibility blueprint. It's all about the traffic outside of Etsy. We talk about blogs, backlinks, so many different ways. So yeah, if you have questions on that, but I wouldn't boost. I wouldn't click the renew to try to get a boost. Cool. Let me see what else I have for you. I do have, so a lot of people have been asking about Etsy, which is our tool to create your listings. You just upload a photo and it creates your listings for you in terms of the optimization. I'll just show you what an example looks like if you want to see it. So here's the history. So this is an example I did for a future YouTube video, but you just upload the photo and you talk to the chat bot. It gives you your full titles, alt text, descriptions, and tags. Fully done, fully SEO optimized, Etsy.com. Definitely click on that. Okay. Oh, someone else asked a great question here. Let me just check on time. Okay, we are good. Cool. in about 23 minutes, I'm going on a podcast, Millionaire Maker Show. Um, so we do a lot of podcast interviews. We also have a podcast. If you are an Etsy seller and if you'd ever like to be on our podcast, I would love to chat with you. Um, we bring guests on every single week. So I'm just going to put team@jahraus.com. Email if you're interested in coming on the podcast and talking about Etsy or shop. Um, okay, this is a good question though. Techno tools. What can you do when you have multiple favorited listings but no one buys it? There's friction in the purchasing process. There is absolutely friction in the purchasing process. This morning, I worked with one of our elite inner circle members. Her name's Maria. She's in Ohio, and she has a brick and mortar, very premium level card shop. So it's brick and mortar. She has a website and she sells on Etsy. She does hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. She's in our elite inner circle. Today, one of the big areas of focus was conversion rate. So when you are going through your listings, let me show you where you want to be looking. I'm actually going to pull up my own shop and show you this. The podcast, Etsy seller here, success with Dylan Jahraus. I did not know the name of it for the longest time. My husband kind of started the podcast and ran with it. But let me go ahead and show you something. I'm going to show you my actual stats. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen so you can see exactly what to do if your conversion rate is struggling. I'm going to replace it with this window. Okay, great. So these are my actual products, my actual stats. Okay, for anyone who says Dylan doesn't have an Etsy shop, yes, this is not a fake screen. Okay, so what we want to do here, scroll all the way down, and what we're doing is scrolling over. These are listings, so the listing level stats, right? All listings, right? It's going to show all your traffic, the products themselves, and then order of operations. So we have views, favorites, orders, and revenue. Okay. Can everyone see this okay? There we go. Okay. So this is on the listing level data. Okay. Yes. If you thought that I didn't have a real shop, this is my stats. So we want to scroll and look at revenue and views. Now, the area that we're looking to first, if you have an issue with your conversion rate, is where you have a lot of views and you have low revenue. Now, we cover all of this very in depth in module 6, which is how to use your stats to make decisions. So, data driven decision making. Okay. So, we had 264,000 views on this one listing, and this listing did $102,000. Okay. This one, 127,000 views, $46,000. So what I'm looking for right now to find the opportunity to increase your conversion rate is where we have high views, low revenue. So where are we seeing a big drop off in revenue? Well, look at this. We have 118,000 views. This listing did $62,000. This listing, 127,000 views, only $46,000. So why is the revenue on this listing lower? There's something wrong with the conversion rate. Um, okay, and I'll show you exactly how I know that by showing you something else. Okay, $46,000. If we scroll down, we see something else with a similar amount of revenue. You see it only has 64,000 views. Now, how can this have almost this has twice as many views, so twice as much traffic, but pretty much the same amount of revenue. And it is because this listing, I know which one it is. It has friction. It totally has friction in the purchasing process. And I know that because that listing gets the most questions out of anything, and it's all because of the thumbnail. Okay, so really where we find a lot of answers when we are working with you one-on-one is in your listing stats. And this is why we're not just giving tips and tricks. We believe in giving personalized one-on-one advice about your specific situation. What I did with Maria this morning on our one-on-one call was a deep dive exactly into this. So she shared her screen and we went through. And I said, "Okay, Maria, click this." She would click on revenue. "Okay, now click views." Okay, now we're going to get into the listing level data and see where the drop off is happening. Is the traffic coming from mobile or desktop? Where do we need to identify where the conversion rate fell off and why? Is it on our phone? And I for some of her listings, I had my phone up and I was saying, "This is why. This is why your conversion rate is low, because 70% of people are coming from mobile and they can't even buy because of this thing." So sometimes it's just helpful to have another set of eyes. Okay. Another set of eyes can be really helpful, especially if that other set of eyes is an e commerce expert. The other set of eyes I don't recommend is your mom, your sister, your cousin. They're going to say, "It looks great, honey," right? We need constructive criticism. We need to find the problems and solve them. Okay, so that's what we do on our calls. But this sounds like you had a conversion rate issue. This is where we find it on the listing level. Okay. Okay, here we go. Do you recommend shipping international for a beginner? Absolutely. Yes, Joyce. I ship about $500 to $600 items to places like Dubai and Egypt, and these are large items. So much opportunity. Another person in our high revenue group, her name's Anna, and she is in New Jersey. Her Etsy shop revenue has now exceeded her other business revenue. She's very excited. She messages me and her messages are always the best. And yeah, I'm really proud of her. Her daughters also are kind of taking after her now, but she just opened up international and she was like, "Wow, like this is great." The opportunity, you're definitely leaving money on the table if you don't do it. Okay. Trista, I've worked hard on fully optimizing my listings, but still only a few sales a week. Any suggestions for the best print on demand images? I've bought so many mockups. I have a video coming out shortly all about basically mockups and why certain mockups are dead. Okay. My editor, Logan, is editing this, I think, this week, but it's a good one. And it's all about your mockups. So, Trista, let me take a look here because I hear a lot of people when they schedule a call with us, they will say, "Well, I've optimized my shop." And sometimes they've optimized it in a way that they think is optimized. So you just want to be really careful at what is the standard of optimization and has anyone actually looked at it. So it's good to have the knowledge, but when you apply it, sometimes the knowledge can get lost in translation. Okay. And it can get lost in the application. So it's not fully implemented basically, and it's great because we think it's optimized. I studied the strategy. I think I did it right, but maybe we missed the mark. So it's really helpful to have someone look at it. Now, if you have, let's say I've looked at your shop, I've looked at your listings and I've said, "This SEO is great. Your pricing strategy is perfect. Like you are on track to um like there's no reason you shouldn't see traffic based on the optimizations." Then we want to look at the product. And this is why when we do coaching, we now as a coaching team have design specific audits. And we will, ask permission, "Can we do a design audit with you?" Because sometimes it doesn't matter what your SEO is, what your pricing strategy is, how you're driving traffic, what your descriptions look like, because the product itself is the problem. And that will trump everything. That has more power than everything else combined. So if it's a design issue, a product issue, a mockup issue, then we need to focus on that first. That is the first priority to solve. because it doesn't matter how good your SEO is, you still wouldn't get sales. So that's where we want to look at product market fit. Where did you get the ideas for these products? Have you established through customer feedback, maybe that's through Facebook polls or Instagram polls, if you have a following there, that there's demand for this design, for this aesthetic, for this product? If not, that's where we have to go back and start. So, Trista, really helpful to get eyes on your shop because when you're working on your shops all day, your businesses all day, it's hard to see everything. So, it's just helpful to have that outside perspective. Okay. Um, what else? What other questions? Here's a good one. You opened a shop a year ago, 35 sales in a year, closing it and opening a new one. Or use, the same name and everything. You cannot use the same name. So, you're gonna have to change the shop name if you wanna open a new shop, okay? Um, I would say for you, what we wanna look at is, did most of that traffic and did most of the sales come within the last 90 days out of the year, or was this early in the year? Have you been increasing in your traffic or decreasing in your traffic? That to me would give me the answers. Um, okay. We did have, a couple questions about how to have a conversation. Trisha said, "I'm hoping to do coaching soon, but I work 40 hours a week and 2 toddlers. So nervous I won't get the most out of coaching right now." I will say when you have coaching, like last night, I actually just put together a plan for one of our students, Mindy. She said, I have 2 hours, plan out every minute of my 2 hours. And I put that together for her. And we're sending it over today. But it just ensures that it really just ensures that any minute you spend on the shop is on the right priority, you know, because sometimes we are, I'll show you what I mean by this. Sometimes when there's 50 things to do in the day, we might not be having that number one thing be the right thing. And we might be putting the majority of our time into something that doesn't even matter. If you're wondering, like, would coaching be helpful? I'm going to go ahead and put something in the chat. It's actually this exact question, this exact document, 50 questions to guide your growth. Okay. This is an example. Like, what are 3 priorities for my shop this week? Okay. So these are the types of things we help you with in coaching. If you have an hour a day or less, like it's beneficial to make sure you're spending that time only on the right things. And in coaching, you don't even have to have a good question. You could just say help, help. Um, that's all. So, if you are not in the program, but you're like, what are these questions? Let me get you this. It's really something you could also use for yourself. 50 questions to guide your growth in your shop. It's in the chat box right now. Definitely check that out. Okay. Okay. So definitely check that out. I am going to put a link to schedule a free call with us. Oh, someone or Kaylee just asked, does it affect your shop if you keep getting customers that don't check the production time and cancel their order? So it depends on, where the cancellation is happening from. If you're doing like a huge influx of actual cancellations, that can impact the ranking of that listing. But if you are just doing refunds, a refund is going to be different than a cancellation, which is actually why Etsy has distinguished these. If you notice, if you try to do a full refund, it will say, are you trying to cancel the order? Now, uh, it will impact your shop in different ways. So refunds, for example, account adjustment is a reason that is not going to impact your listings ranking, right? Maybe they bought 2 and they only meant to buy 1. So then you just refund or one of them, but the order that transaction order still stands. That's not going to impact your ranking. Full cancellations of actual orders and transactions could. Okay. So just be very careful with that. Okay. Um, if you want to have a free conversation with us one on one about your shop, feel free to click the link in the chat. I just put it there again. We're happy to do that. Um, I take a look at every shop that comes through just to give my perspective on it as well. If you're curious what the potential is, if you're thinking about making a big shift maybe in the next year, and maybe like this is the year you're thinking about going all in or really prioritizing a business and taking what is a hobby now and turning it really into a business with substantial income, it's great to have a conversation about that just so you have an idea of what that vision and those strategies even look like. Okay. Awesome, guys. I think this was really productive. Hopefully, it was helpful with the questions. And if you need anything, reach out. We are here to serve. And um, I'm just excited for to hear about everyone's Q4 results. Feel free to send over questions, reach out on Instagram if you want to know more about our one-on-one coaching. And I did put some of our students' videos in the chat if you want to see what their experience with us looked like. But it's also all on YouTube if you want to see it. We have tons of videos of them. A lot of them are also meeting in person. So, all right, everyone. All right, we'll see you later.